Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I think we're going to start now. My name is Rukky Otive-Igbuzor. I am program director at FYCI and I will be your host for today. The first thing we're going to do is introduce ourselves. I'm aware that some people are in the listener section, so I'm just going to invite those who are in the speaker section currently to speak. And then at some point later, we can open the floor for discussion so that others can also introduce themselves. So I will start with the order I can see here. Philip, can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, yes, thank you very much, Rukky. My name is Philip Aluola Osage. You can call me Philip Bells. I'm a producer and I'm an art and advocacy officer for FYCI. I'm also a mixing engineer, and yes, it's nice to meet or hear from all of you. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Promise, can you introduce yourself?
Um, Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Promise Chile. I'm a software engineer. I'm the IT officer at FYCI.
Thank you, Promise. Amina, can you please introduce yourself?
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Such a delight to be here with you all. My name is Othman Amina, also known as the Audible Queen. I'm a writer, a spoken word poet, and a project leader at Project Advosafe initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. And Jon-Kote, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jon-Kote. I'm a spoken word poet. Also an artist. I'm a theater artist, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Right, thank you. We're supposed to have one more speaker. I think she's trying to join. But we'll just carry on anyway until she joins. So I'm just going to talk briefly about why we are here today. This program is being organized by Frontline Youth Creativity Initiative, or FYCI for short. And FYCI is a youth-led and youth-focused organization working to promote positive social change in Nigeria through the creative arts. And at FYCI, we believe strongly in the creative arts, whether it's music, drama, poetry, or other art form. We believe that it's very powerful in driving social and behavioral change. And that's essentially why we've organized this webinar. So on the 27th of October, FYCI turned 2, and we decided to organize this webinar to commemorate our 2-year anniversary. So yeah, obviously, as you can see, the topic is art and activism, amplifying youth voices for social change. And we're going to be hearing from the speakers here today as we discuss this issue. But let me just give you a rundown of the program so you know what to expect. We're going to have a spoken word presentation by Jon-Kote. Then we would have a panel discussion with our panelists. Afterwards, we would open the floor for questions and comments from the audience. And during that time, people can also like introduce themselves so we can know who's speaking. Then we would have a vote of thanks and announcements. So without wasting time, I will move into the next segment of the program, which is a spoken word presentation by Jon-Kote. Jon-Kote, you have the floor.
Good afternoon once again. My name is Jon-Kote. My spoken word piece is titled The Nigeria I Want. Here goes. In this country, oil economy the buga, but insecurity, inequality, and the riches of poverty go make you sakpa. So on my tongue, Nigeria springs up a sad song of ideas that travel abroad to become wonders of the world. Here, banditry is running cross-country in the northern states. The security agencies have left you and they are lying in state. They say not all heroes wear capes. Perhaps a little sprout of a child would rise and end this race. But the parents of that sprout of a child have been displaced, replaced by bombs and bushes, so who would save the day? When we look the other way while a nation and its people and its heritage and its culture is scattered away. You think you are safe, but how safe? How long does it take until rain falls into flood? How long before that flood comes for us? You see, the fastest way for the North and their nightmare to become the terror of the South is for the East and the West to become a brotherhood of silence. So if you insist that this bad government should persist, then perhaps you do not know what it consists, but this is how Burna Boy puts it. E don cast last now everybody go chop breakfast, but we can hold the hands of hope and build a better Nigeria, a Nigeria with a vision of transformation, where the eyes on our nation's head is hungry for height and young people are raised as pillars of light, a Nigeria where patriotism is not a feast we celebrate once a year on Independence Day, but a staple food grown every day. In Nigeria, where our offices are not bribe depots, mini mats for corrupt hands. In Nigeria, where our dance of diversity is not a threat to our communities. A country that is not a cemetery where we come when our time on earth is done. A country that is not a cemetery where we come when our time on earth is done. A Nigeria where suicide is not a side hustle, where young people go to pen the pain in the pockets of their lives. In Nigeria, where suicide is not a side hustle, where young people go to pen the pain in the pockets of their lives. In Nigeria, that is not a sad song written by the lives of young people whose dreams would never see tomorrow. In Nigeria, where our happiest songs are not harmonized with bristled tears of our forgotten lives. In Nigeria, that lets the poor breathe. In Nigeria, that lets the poor breathe. In Nigeria, that lets the poor breathe. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Jon-Kote. I was clapping here. I know others are muted, but you wouldn't hear it. But that was very amazing, and I think is a powerful illustration of the kind of conscious art that we're talking about. So let's now delve into the discussion further. I know the panelists introduced themselves before, but I will just repeat their names for the purpose of those who weren't here. So in our panel today, we have Philip Aluola, who is a producer and the Arts and Advocacy Officer at FYCI. We have Amina Othman, who is a spoken word artist and the project lead at Project Advosafe Initiative. We have Promise Chime, who is a software engineer and the IT officer at FYCI. We may have another speaker. I'm not sure if she's here yet, but she might join us before we finish. So yeah, I will just go into the discussion proper. And the first thing I want to do is unpack the title. So we're talking about art and activism, amplifying youth voices for social change. So I want to ask our panelists, what does the concept of art and activism mean to you? I will start with Amina.
All right. Art and activism are two courses that are connected to each other. We have various kind of arts that, okay, you just decide to work with the one that works better for you. Why activism derives action that will make an effect. Being a spoken words artist, whenever I pick up my pen to sit and write, I take time to think and initiate and innovate things from my head. I try to express myself in a way that I feel every single person out here can absorb what I'm trying to say and understand where I'm driving at. After writing, performing my poem is the activism, because it's more like me trying to inspire people to take action, to do something like this, or I try to challenge the norms or profile possible solutions to societal causes that is affecting us at large in my piece, trying to call for action, trying to correct some of our mistakes, and trying to encourage us all that we can all do better. Art holds so much power, while art and activism lie on each other because they both have a role to play. While art defines you, your art and what you're expressing, your intellect, your view, your vision, the activism is a mode of you expressing it out there for people to see, performing it, the action. Because right now, what we want to see is more of action, more people coming out to act, to show people that this is what it is and this is what we want to do. We're not just doing the talking or the writing, we're also coming out to exhibit this action that we are advocating for. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amina. I think one thing I really took from that is the emphasis on action as a part of art and activism. Philip, do you have any more insights to share on the concept of art and activism?
Um, Thank you very much. Yes. I think the last speaker already made much sense with our discussions. But one little thing I would like to add about art and activism is when you talk about art and activism, you have to understand where there is activism involved, it has to do with nation building. And when you want to build a nation, you want to put the things that are positively minded to nation building. That's where art comes in. So we ask, what type of art do we use for activism? It has to be an art that will build the nation. For example, free stop the shooting Palestinian. That's a type of photographic art that's trying to stop the war and build for peace, build for nations. So wherever there is art and activism, we're talking about nation building art. So that's all for now.
Thank you so much. I like the concept of nation building that you've introduced into this. Promise, do you have any more insights to share? What does art and activism mean to you?
Um, yeah, thank you. Everyone has like kind of said most of the things, but what I'm just going to say is that like it's a synergy between artistic expression and then social and political engagement. Signifies use of like we can use various mediums to pass to create a synergy between art and activism. You understand? So we can use like creating awareness, fostering dialogue, uh, inspiring empathy. You know, understand like. So these are ways that we can like um, um, join art and activism. You understand? When you have something that's when you have like a creative idea, like and okay, your idea is just not creative. It's just not going to be be creative. How can you use this idea to spark a change or inspire social or political change? That's where art and activism comes to play. And so you're using your art to be an activist. I don't know. Oh yeah.
Great, thank you so much. I think a common theme that I can draw from all your responses is the idea of using art to drive change, to inspire action, to promote nation building. So it's the idea that there is a further goal behind the art. It's not just creating art for art's sake, but it's actually trying to inspire something. And I want to go to the second part of the topic. So we've uncovered art and activism, and the second part of the topic says amplifying youth voices for social change. So I'll throw this question at Philip. Why do you think it's important to specifically focus on amplifying youth voices in the context of art and activism?
Thank you very much for that question, Rukky. First of all, In order to clearly understand this whole concept of art and activism, and in which I've laid down earlier about nation building, then I'll go to why it's important for youth. First, we have to ask ourselves, where was art created and why was it created? And for whom was it created for? By whom too? We take it back. If we are religious, we'll say God is an artist. But philosophically, people will say back in the days of Homo sapiens, the art of what they call storytelling, which is like art, was used as a form of communication between our ancestors, between the people back, Homo sapiens, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthals, everybody. So art was used to build, to communicate. So when we talk about nation building, we have to ask ourselves, why did we make art? We made art to build, to communicate with people. So now, if you want to build, you have to put the youth in mind. In fact, the youth should be the top priority in any nation that wants to build. Why? Because the youths are energetic. The youths are like babies, yeah? They are like empty cups. And like an empty cup, it has to be filled up. And wherever a cup is empty, it creates space for creativity, originality, more more ambitious movement for a country. For example, Nigeria and its youth. You can see that wherever the youth are not engaged, there is low input or low productivity in the country. We have to understand that whenever we are building, nation building, which I'm focusing on now, the youth are very important, because any nation that wants to grow has to create space for many infrastructures, resources, development. And old people at the time won't have that strength. They won't have the strength to do it forever. So, except you want to end your legacy as a country, you want to end the country when you die, you have to know that at the time you have to pass the information you have to someone younger than you to keep your history going. Now, that's where art comes in. The youth know how to use art to pass information. Like Jon-Kote, who was doing his spoken word, I heard him and I was really, really impressed, because spoken word artists are people, poetry are people who, whatever they say resides in the heads of the next generation. And one thing with art is, unlike pictures, unlike anything you see, music especially, the words you say resonate inside people's head, generations to come, generations to come, generations to come, generations to come. So when you use art, the young people who are already creative, like I said before, when they are able to engage in art and the government make room for us to engage in art, we'll be able to do things that will help our generation to have this remembrance that, oh, this is where we're coming from, this is what we should do, this is where we can go whenever we are lost. Lastly, there was a time in Nigeria as youths. Who remembers this song? The land is green, oh, oh, the land is green. When you hear that song, you feel happy. You appreciate your country. You appreciate where you are from as Nigerians. You appreciate your culture. It's culture especially. Do you understand? Culture especially. You appreciate it. Now, Fela, on the other hand, also appreciated that aspect of activism for the youth, where he sang Suffering and Smiling, where he sang colonial mentality, all addressing the things of the society for the youth. I don't want to dive away from the question. I'll talk about this in the next question. But for now, let me just stop here. Let me not divert too much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip. That was that was very insightful. You talked about a lot of important things there. I want to particularly pick up on the point you made about linking youth activism to nation building. I think that's very powerful. And when you even look at like the population of Nigeria today, you can see that youth form the overwhelming majority of the population. So it's very clear that they have this power, they have this drive to actually promote nation building. So thank you so much for that contribution. Now I want to delve into like the practical side of things. So the actual creative process, the process of creating conscious art. And by conscious art, I mean art that is geared at driving social change. So, Amina, I know that I've seen a lot of your work where you create spoken word pieces that are addressing important issues in society, ranging from political participation to climate change and to things like that. So, can you like tell us practically what is your creative process like? What inspires you to create this conscious art?
All right, thank you. Well, since you said you've seen most of my work, when you check thoroughly, you notice I do much more of activism actually. I can actually write other themes like maybe law of nature, etc. But I focus more on motivation, participation, and call to action in most of my pieces, because I really have this, I don't know, immeasurable love for Nigeria, that whenever I sit and watch or listen to headlines on news, I feel so sad when I see the disheartening things that happen in Nigeria. So whenever I sit and listen to news and I see the rate of how things are really going bad, the bad economy, etc. and all, and the fact that humans are the orchestrators of this phenomenon, it inspires me to write. It inspires me to write something that will command the conscience of people, like, okay, why are you doing it? Even if I know maybe it might not resonate with everybody, but I feel like there would be some people out there, when they see my work and listen to it, they'll feel a little bit inspired, or there's going to be this change in their action, even if change is a gradual process, because it cannot just happen all the time. Even me that write, I still tend to work on myself sometimes because I'm not perfect. So whenever I listen to news, whenever I walk on the street and see people, the less privileged, the indigents, going through a lot of hardship. Sometimes when I enter public transport and I see how the driver is sweating, driving, oh my God, just trying to make ends meet for himself, I feel so sad. Because if the economy is actually very, very good, we would have been better, even though I know we still need such kind of service providers. But it would have been in a much more sustainable way, a way that is going to create good finances for them and how they can take care of their family and all. So a lot of things inspires me to write, like listening to news, like when I see the indigent, like when I go to orphanages and I see a lot of people, or go to the hospital and I see a lot of people stressing about, or when I see many social media videos trending where people are suffering because of bad economy, because of our leaders, those that don't really care, the selfish ones have supersedes the selfless leaders. Because as a political science student, most time I be like, oh my God, Nigeria has actually lost the real political orators in Nigeria, those that selflessly fought for our independence. What we have now is people that pass on generational wealth to their family, because now even if you study so hard, you pass jam, you pass your WAEC examination, I don't know, it's not a guarantee for you to get admission into university if you do not know somebody there. And that's somebody, not just anybody, somebody that is strong, that has lots of upper hands in the school, which is very, very sad. People read hard, people work hard to make ends meet, to make themselves and their family proud, and then the system keep jeopardizing all our efforts. These are sad stories. So as a youth and an activist, I took it upon myself that, okay, even if I feel this is the only thing I can do, since I love to be the voice of the people, I love to be a speaker. It has been in me right from primary school. I like to speak, I like to talk to people. I took it. I was actually growing in the process. Yeah, I was growing. That was why I even chose to be an art student. Yeah, because I wanted to develop this intellect in me. I just felt like, okay, public speaking is my thing, even if I'm still in the process of learning. But gradually I'm becoming better. So that's really been a roller coaster of processes for me. I really want to be the voice of the people. I want to represent the people better. And I believe that if I can do it, I should be able to inspire fellow youths like me, my my colleagues, and all that for it to be better. Because anytime I have an opportunity to lead an organization or lead a project, I try to do it based on transparency and accountability. Because the moment when you put in work to do something, you would definitely get the benefits for it. But most of us just want to work, and we don't want to work, but we want to get benefits, we want to get reward. We are doing it for the incentives. But the thing is, the moment you put in work, there's this fulfilling spirit you get when the rewards are coming, like, yeah, I did this and it's coming. So it's not useless. You are doing it for your people, you are doing it for yourself and for your future. So what inspires me the most is listening to news all the time, headlines at night, reading through social media, watching videos and blogs, or when I see indigents on the street, or when I see people working so hard to make things easy for themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amina. That was really rich. I think it's quite commendable that you've decided to use your voice to address these issues. Thank you so much for sharing that experience. Philip, I can see your hand up. Do you want to contribute?
Yes, yes. Oh, I really love what she said. I didn't know there are still creatives like this. It's really good. I love what she said about originality. You know, as especially as Nigeria that needs to be developed, that needs to grow, we have to be original. When I mean originality is whatever is happening in your country, that is what you should talk about. But then rather than just talking about it, you have to also talk about the positive thing you want to see happening in your country as an artist. Creatives like us, we have what they call power to build a nation. We have it inside our minds as Africans, especially. So the reason why people these days, especially in Nigeria, creatives don't normally like talking about nation building is because of the effects of neo-colonialism in the media, gatekeepers in the media. It's political, from colonization. And I think the reason why there is art and activism is to break that shackles of neo-colonialism in our media. And as artists, when you were born as an African, as a Nigerian, you have to embrace that originality you were born with. Don't copy anybody. Stay on your own as an artist. In your room, sit down. Whatever comes to your mind, write it. When you go outside and you see the plants growing in Nigeria, write about the plants. Because whatever you write about is and sing about is what grows positively. Now, if you see the government doing something you don't like, talk about the government doing something you don't like. Now, people will get scared and say, oh, as an artist, what if I talk about this government and he comes to beat me? One thing with artistry is it has power, like I said before. And when you write about what you see in your country, nature will reward you not only with productivity, but also with security. Nothing will happen to you when you speak out. But the shackles of neocolonialism, you know, colonial masters trying to export our media. That's why you hear things that don't relate to Nigeria in Nigeria. I mean, we have. I don't take too much time. Lastly, we have corruption going on, but then majority of the artists are not singing about the corruption. I was also part of the people who was diverted because of you know popular music. You want to be part of popular music. Popular music won't build a nation. Secular music won't build a nation. And I'm not talking from spiritual perspective or religious. No, I'm not being religious. I'm talking about nation building. As an activist, you have to take it upon yourself and decide that, okay, even though everybody is singing this kind of music about money, about this, no, I want to sing about my environment. I want to sing about my culture. I want to sing about my country. Why? Because if a boy goes to meet a girl and he sings about the girl is 90% capable of falling in love with him. That's what happens as artists. When you sing about your country will grow because people will love your country and then things in your country will grow. That is what art and activism is. People are dying in rural areas. Sing about it. That is what we should do as activists. We shouldn't listen to this especially popular music who are driving now to make people famous. You just want to be famous, but you don't want your country to grow. So I'll just stop here for now. I'll continue later. Continue, Rukky.
Thank you so much, Philip. That was really like insightful. As we were talking, I was just thinking about the point you made about culture, and I think the creative arts are like a very powerful tool, a powerful means of expressing cultural identity and things relating to your culture. So thank you for that insight. I can see that our fourth speaker has joined us. You weren't here earlier when we were doing the introductions, Precious. So if you can just introduce yourself first before I ask you your question.
Okay, so this is Precious Akande. So an anti-SGBV ambassador, and I'm someone that just loves life. So everything that has to do with life, I'm more particular about it, and something that has to change about life.
Okay, thank you, Precious. And yeah, you said you're an anti-SGBV ambassador at FYCI, and obviously you've created some content with us. Um, Spoken word pieces that address issues like political participation, environmental sustainability, and gender rights. So I want to ask the same question I asked Amina. Can you talk us through your creative process? What inspires you to create conscious art?
Thank you very much for the question. So majorly, I would say that heart is the language of the art. It's the language that the art speaks. So if your heart needs to speak, you need to use creative heart. What the language needs to speak, what the heart wants to speak. So majorly, I would say that what inspires me is the fact that I don't wait for inspiration. I want inspiration to find me. Because sometimes we get stuck as creative people, get stuck, you're looking for inspiration, you're stuck. Some people call it mind block, and some people call it mind block, and then you don't get inspired at the moment. But anytime inspiration can come. So you have to be ready for inspiration, and your heart has to speak the language it wants to speak. So most times I'm always in the environment whereby I know that something is happening, and then I don't really like to speak back.
Okay, thank you very much, Precious. I like the points you made about not waiting for
Can
inspiration
you
to
hear
come.
me?
Yes, yes, we heard you. Yes, I was just saying I like the points you made about not waiting for inspiration to come because it can come at any time. So always being ready for that. I think that's really a practical way to go in terms of creating conscious art. So I want to kind of delve into a sort of different field now. Obviously, we're in the digital age, and even the fact that we're having this webinar on Twitter shows that technology is disrupting the way we do things, the way we conduct activities, the way we seek to have conversations, the way we drive change and everything. And so I want to kind of talk about how technology and digital platforms can contribute to this conversation. So I'll ask this question to Promise, since you're in the tech field. How do you think technology and digital platforms can enhance the reach and impact of young creative artists?
Thank you, Rukky. Technology and digital platforms provide um, young creative artists with an array of tools and opportunities to amplify their impact. So, like technology can connect to like a global audience and like make your art and your art more accessible. There are like various ways we can access digital platforms. Digital platforms can also like enhance our reach to audiences. As a creative, let's say you're a skit maker, and of course, when you have with digital platforms and social media, like you can reach a lot. a lot of people. It's like this is different from the traditional way people used to put out content. You sell out CD.
Hi, Promise, are you still there? We can't hear you anymore. Okay, maybe he's having technical issues. We'll come back to you, Promise. I will move to Philip now, and I want to ask, what challenges do you see young Nigerian creative artists face in their efforts to create change? And in your opinion, how do you think these challenges can be overcome?
Thank you very much, Rukky, for that question. There was something Sparkle said, if I'm correct here. There's something she said that she didn't speak for long, but that thing really struck me, which is true. It's number one, the creatives, young creatives, which are the youths. We need to learn to embrace and listen to our minds because we were not born for nothing. We're actually born with a mission. And the mission is embedded inside our minds, inside us, as mostly as Africans. We have to embrace, take out time alone, face boredom, and embrace and listen to our minds. Why do I say it? Because creativity is made out of your quiet space when you are meditating, when you are praying, whatever you do it alone. That is where creativity is being made. The reason is because if Nigeria as a country is to grow as a nation, the nature we live in is going to impact the unborn children. And when the unborn children are born, they come with a mission given to them by nature, by their environment, by their culture. And then, for example, if there is a thief, a popular thief, and the people do the right thing, there is a savior who is yet to be born, given a mission by our culture to say, okay, come and sing about this and come. So now, the problem now with our youth and why they can't achieve this kind of mentality to create and obey the nature or their culture is because of what they call popular or mainstream music. For example, I'll give you an example. Let's say, where is he? Jon-Kote is doing a spoken word artistry, and he's seriously talking about Nigeria. He's talking about Nigeria. And then he meets his friend and shows his friend, say, hey, bro, I have this. And the friend tells him, bro, this is too lame. Are you not seeing what this artist is doing? They are getting money, they are getting this, they are getting that, you know. Now, the problem with that is Jon-Kote will become, he will become discouraged. He will become disorganized. He might decide, oh, this is not good. Let me go and do what everybody is doing. But the problem with what everybody is doing is not everybody are doing the things that are beneficial to Nigeria as a country for us to grow. Some are doing the things that are beneficial for America to grow. How can you be doing the things of what American artists are doing for their country and you do it in Nigeria and you expect your country to grow in regards to that? How can you put beans on the fire and expect rice to boil? Do you understand? So the problem with the government these days is they are not giving the youths enough quiet time to think, embrace their minds, and say, okay, this is what is good for Nigeria. Because I went out and I saw an Okada man fighting. So I have to think about this and make sure when everybody hears this, the Okada man or Okada men will stop fighting on the road and rather just do their business. But no, we'll go to the road, we'll see Okada men fighting, we'll go back home and think about cars and think about pop something. How does it relate to your country? How does it relate? Okay, now there's Boko Haram crisis. You see Boko Haram crisis, then you go back home and sing, what will I call? You go back home and sing something that is relating to America. That is the effect of neo-colonialism. And I think the only way youth, like I said before, can help themselves, embrace your mind. I know it's difficult. Embrace your mind, take time, meditate, get the originality out of you, sing about the originality from your environment, one. And also the government have to do well in creating infrastructure. Okay, lastly, where I am presently, I did a survey, and I realized that the government here, we create free studio equipment, create free rooms, free meditating rooms, free music rooms, free video rooms, free photographic rooms, free everything for the youth. Why? Because whenever the youth minds are engaged in things like that, when they see it's free, they will use it to benefit their country, for the country. Bum, 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 bum. So I don't know. I don't know if I answered the question well, but I'll just say two things. Um, Rookie, can you hear me? Come on.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Repeat that question again. Let me hit something. I forgot the question.
Yeah, so the question was what challenges do young Nigerian creative artists face in their efforts to create change, and how can these challenges be overcome?
Yes, yes. So, like I said, embrace your mind, and then these challenges can be overcome by the artists embrace their mind first, regardless of whatever is going on. Be confident in yourself, be original, and we also need to take. That's where the activism comes in now, because now is not time to write about how good Nigeria is. Because let's be frank, Nigeria is not good. We have to point out to the government that hey, there is a song I recently made. It's called Below Peace. Below Peace. I'm also a victim of this. Actually, I used to make songs that don't really relate to Nigeria, but when I understood the problem I was causing for my country indirectly and for my children, I stopped it. Not like I stopped it. I always have time to talk about Nigeria. There's a song I made, Below Peace. If you hear it, you will hear the anger in it. I was really angry. Like everybody were doing, let's do Amapiano. I was like, get out from here. And I made Below Peace. If you hear Below Peace, you will know that I was really talking about how angry I was about the society, and that was it. We need to do those kind of music more often. Let those kind of music dominate the media space. Then whenever we come out and say, okay, we want to protest, everybody go fall out, because the music has indirectly and unconsciously affected our youth to make change. That's how spiritual music is. So this is just for the artists, for the music creatives, actually, also for the photographers and everybody. So thank you very much. I hope I actually answered the question. I felt, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Philip. You hit many important points there. I think if I would just pick one thing, the one that really stood out to me was the importance of originality and doing things that are relevant to your local context. I think that is super important in trying to drive change. You have to make sure that what you're talking about, what you're singing about, or the content that you're creating is actually relevant to driving change in your local context. And of course, in our case, we're talking about Nigeria. So thank you very much for that. Um, Precious, still on the issue of challenges that young creative artists face. I think another challenge is doing things that are just like one-off interventions. So you just release a song and then you talking about maybe a song talking about political participation or anti-corruption, and then you go back to doing the mainstream popular music that Philip was talking about, or you just do one project that is aimed at driving change, and then you go back to doing the regular thing you were doing before. But like Amina also said earlier, change is a gradual process. So all of these one-off interventions aren't really going to drive change, because it's one thing to create conscious art and it's another thing to create conscious art that drives change. So I want to ask you, Precious, how do you think we can ensure that conscious art created by young people has a lasting impact and actually drives change in the long term?
Okay, so I want to say one thing, and that's one of the challenges youth face. It's from themselves. It's funny how music, creative arts, from even things that do not create purpose, is selling out. It's massive. People are listening to it, people are buying it. But anytime it comes to creative art that's very purposeful and that youth know that it's purposeful, they hide back, they question themselves.
Would it even be nice? Will people even like this? Will people even appreciate me? Will I sell out? No, you don't need it. And it's one challenge I want people to know that they need to stop. You don't need to say that will you sell out? Will people like it? You know it's creating purpose. You listen to it all the time. You know it's going to create a purpose. But then you hold back. That's one challenge I know that youth face. Like I said earlier, heart is the language of your heart. So if your heart is craving to speak and to dedicate a problem, do not hold back, because the more you hold back, the more you hold back, the more you don't become more creative. It's like saying that you have a problem with your neighbor, you have a problem with somebody, you need to talk about the issue, but you keep on holding back, you don't talk about the issue. You're not getting anything right, you're not solving any problem. The thing is just in your heart, and then it's going to die in your heart. So, heart is the language of your heart. So, the language, if you know that you love creative art, speak that spoken word. Dance, sing the music. Stop waiting for will people listen to me? Will people clap for me? Will people embrace me? Is this even making sense? But then you listen to music that are not even making sense. You see music that are not even having any purpose. And you see 1 million views, you see 100 million views. Okay, let's say that you really want, you know that what, and I think the second thing is, that's the first aspect. Second thing now is, you know that what you're putting out there is purposeful, but then you're only getting 2 views. Thing is, keep on doing it. Keep on having that 2 views. You don't need 1 million views. That 2 views that saw it at that time, they might even be the one that needs it. Like I want to say, and I'm going to revert back to the Bible. Imagine God giving 99 sheep just for one sheep. Just for one sheep. That already shows that one is enough. If God can leave 99 for one sheep, you should know that one is enough. I just want to let somebody know today, because now it's sounding like it's a motivational thing, and it should be. If you have it, please go out there and do it. If you know it, please go out there and do it. Stop always questioning yourself. It's a challenge that we always have. It's a challenge that sometimes I also have, and I'm not going to even hide myself here. And I tell myself all the time, if it's going to be one view that is looking at my content, please, I'm grateful for the one view. I'm putting in more work to ensure that very soon it's getting out there. And then it's one thing that very soon we hope that the nation helps us out with, ensuring that people hear the truth. But let's not lie to ourselves. Even the nation does not want to put it out there because the nation hates the truth. So you cannot ensure that you cannot think that the nation will not say, oh, because she's saying the truth, let's now give her the popularity. They will pull you back, just like I think it was Mr. Phillips that said something about maybe somebody saw somebody fighting with an Okada man. Instead of having to think about the fight, they don't think about the fight to make it to why. Because you definitely know that the nation will not applaud you for saying the truth. We're the nation where they don't applaud when you say the truth. So don't even wait for the help. Help yourself to help everybody. People know the truth. They know the language. They know the thing you're saying. So keep on putting it there. Please. Always remember that these songs that don't have sense, songs that don't have purpose, songs that is only because of beats that we are downloading it. How much more your voice? How much more your heart? You are speaking the language of your own heart that resonates with other people. So keep speaking.
Thank you so much, Precious. That was very insightful. The one key thing for me from what you said was do not hold back. If you have a message to pass across, go ahead and do it. Don't question yourself. That was very powerful. Thank you so much, Precious. Um, I see that Promise has joined us back. You were previously talking about how technology and digital platforms can enhance the reach and impact of young people. And I want to also throw in the field of AI or artificial
Thank
intelligence,
you,
which
ma'am.
has become very topical today. So I think AI can also be classified on that on that technology, sorry. So in the context of AI and the broader field of technology, how do you think this can support young Nigerian creative artists?
Hello, yeah. I was just talking for minutes. I don't know how I'd gone off. So I don't even know. I don't know where I stopped before. So I'm just going to try to summarize everything that I was saying before. So what I was saying is that um, social media can social media can be a tool for for young young creatives to express their creative art. You understand? Um, social. We also have digital. Sorry, so sorry. Okay. So yes. So digital platforms can also help us in to analyze the data. You understand? You're putting out content. You're putting out um, creative art. So with digital tools, we can also analyze the kind of people we are reaching to. Understand? It's going to provide us analytics. What time the people view our content, um, what kind of content appeases the people in this particular region. You understand? Also, we can also take advantage of e-commerce and merchandise. We can sell our digital art with e-commerce platforms. You understand? So we use it to expand our revenue and making our art more accessible um, to everyone. So under AI, so what AI does is that AI can generally make our work easier. You understand? We all know how AI has gone this past few years. We have a tool like ChatGPT to generate content. You understand? It's not like before when you want to create a content and you have to sit down for hours and start writing or bringing ideas. With ChatGPT, if you use these tools, if you use AI tools effectively, it can help you, make your work a lot easier. You understand? Um, yeah, that's just it. If I'm let me, that, I'm just summarizing because I was talking for a lot before, so I don't even know where I was cut off. So yeah, and also I want to also talk about automation. You understand? So we all know how we can just how managing content can be difficult. You understand? You want to make a post now. You have to set a reminder for 3 a.m. tomorrow or 5 p.m. next tomorrow to remember to make those posts. With AI, this is we can have we can automate this process. Like if you have time today, you can say, okay, I want to I want to automate my the way I post my content this week, only today. So you can create a schedule, post everything today, and your content will start going up at the particular time when it should, or when you have set it to. So this is how AI just makes um um or AI makes our art, our creative art easier. It makes us like gives us like an edge when you want to make a post now. You have you go to these AI tools and like generate content, automate the process, and you post it. So it makes it easier. Instead of you spending hours in creating your schedule, you spend minutes. So AI helps makes your work easier, and digital tools helps you reach a wider audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Promise. That was really insightful. Obviously, AI is a new and emerging field, and it clearly holds a lot of potential for creative artists in terms of, like you said, automation, brainstorming ideas, maximizing reach, increasing accessibility, and all of that. So, thank you for that. Philip, I see your hand up. I'm going to ask you to hold that thought. I will come back to you in a second. But for now, let me just ask Amina. This question is for you. So, what changes do you hope to see in the way society recognizes and supports the efforts of young creative artists who are working for social change? And I'll ask you to try to keep your response as brief as possible because we're running out of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, art is diverse: music, poetry, drama, etc. And I've had Precious and Philip, Abby Promise, said some talked about originality. Yes, that is very correct. Originality, and you don't need anybody's validation to do what you want to do. And in the aspect of the somebody is doing music that doesn't make a lot of sense and you want to do something that makes sense, well, I think we can actually balance that. We can be better, we can balance it. Sometimes you want to listen to something so inspiring, you want to hear people say things that speaks to your soul, then another minute you want to listen to something that will make you swing your head, your waist, everything, you want to dance. I think we can balance it. We don't have to prioritize one and degrade one. It's something that it's all about balancing. And if we can start talking about this and start doing it better, I feel gradually, people will also want to be like you. Yeah, because in the realm of spoken word poetry, I think 2023 has been the best year, or let me say best year yet for spoken word poetry, because it gained a whole lot of recognition. When you go out there, many youths don't even want to listen to what a spoken word poet is trying to say or the message that person is trying to pass across. But I can say since 2022, 2023, people are becoming interested in what spoken word poetry actually is. So what I'll say is we as young creative, we don't need anybody's validation to do better. As an individual, as a human that has so much passionate love for humanity, just do you, be original, just do what you want to do. Do not procrastinate. Do not say, yeah, I want to do this, but people are not going to like you're not doing it for people. I feel when you do something that you really want to do from your heart, you get this fulfilling spirit, this feeling of satisfaction that yes, I have done something and you've made your soul happy. So the change I want to see is also the change that begins with us, because everything is also all about us, deals with us. So you don't need anybody's validation to do what you want to do. Just do it because yeah, that's you and that is what you want to do, and then we'll get better. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amina. I love what you said about the change you want to see is the change that begins with us. That's very powerful. Thank you so much to all our speakers. I will now open the floor for discussion. I can see Philip's hand up already. If you're in the listener section and you want to speak, please just request to be a speaker and you can either comment or ask a question. If you're in the speaker section already, you can also raise your hand. So, Philip, you can speak.
I wanted to comment on what Promise on technology talked about and what Precious also talked about, which is also very important. Um, when you talk about art and activism, we should also always very important put in mind that it's a conscious effort. Yes, we already established that fact. And the historical reason behind art, I would really recommend that we read a book called Sapiens. The book will tell you the importance of art, why it was created, and how powerful it is for people to create imaginations in their head, and also why also shows you how powerful the artist is. Now, I'm not really much of a fan of AI in creation of art. In fact, I think for Nigeria, we need to develop live performances, stage performances, live music. Why do I say this? Because art and activism, like I said, is a cultural thing. For example, if you are from Enugu State, any village at all, they should develop what they call live musicians. You should perform on the stage. Why? Because the live music builds the identity of the people. And where there is identity of the people, culture is built. And then when you sang in the music, everybody resonates with that culture, with that identity, with that feeling of belonging. Now, one thing with AI, the introduction of AI, if you notice, if you go to developed countries, they limit the use of AI for people who they want to use to develop the country, because AI washes down culture, consciousness, mindfulness. It washes down everything that has to do with human existence. And once AI succeeds in washing down consciousness, it can take control of everything we ever stand for as humans. So why I don't really like AI, even though we want to use it, we must make sure we are in full control of it. Out of 100%, we as youth should learn to use like 20% of digital, tools, because like I said before, creativity is originality, and originality comes from the mind, especially as Africans. It's from the mind. So wherever there is AI, you are not actually talking from the mind, because even when you do something in your mind with AI, there is possibility of it having a different, because music is also emotion, it's also feelings, it's something abstract, and AI, no matter how good it is, it can't do that. It can't produce human feelings. It can't love more than these days. Before social media was created, people will meet together and have social gatherings and talk to each other. As they are talking, they will look at body languages. They will look at your eyes to see how your pupils are dilating. It helps people to read each other and understand each other better. But now with the creation of AI, people, you can be talking with somebody on Instagram and you might be talking to a sociopath you don't know. You might be talking to someone, you might be talking to someone who is not even a human being, like we see on Twitter right now. Nigerians are fighting with themselves. I personally feel that is a neo-colonialistic move to make Nigeria divided, destroy our culture, spoil our music, make the art go mad, and then we don't understand ourselves anymore. Going totally against what we, dating back almost 30,000 years ago, started art for: communication, loving one another, building relationship. So I'll just stop there for now. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Philip. That's a very interesting point that you made, and I think it contributes to the wider debate about AI. Obviously, it provides opportunities, but there are also risks. And I like what you said about being in control of AI rather than letting it be in control of you. I see your hand up, Promise. I'm just going to issue a reminder that anyone who wants to speak, you can raise your hand, and if you're in the listener section, you can request to be a speaker and then raise your hand. So promise you can speak.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Also, of course, um, that's why I said when I was making my own presentation, that's why I said if you use AI effectively, you understand, you cannot just, as a creative, you cannot just fully rely on AI. But the point I was trying to make is that, like, as a creative, leveraging AI makes your work easier, the creative process. You understand? Okay, as a musician, um, okay, as a musician, you have you are going to a new place, let me say like a local village for a live performance. You understand? You have a lot of songs. You understand? Now, how will you know these songs, these, like the people in this community, like your songs that they like that they what's the word I'm looking for, like they resonate with more? Do you understand? Like if you don't have AI tools that can help you with the analytics of this particular village, it's going to be quite difficult. You might go there and start singing your songs, and these ones they don't relate with it because this is not this is not this is not what um this is not what they are used to. I'm sure there are also ways that you can still use to take note of what the people in that particular community listen to, but you have to now start doing research, going there, asking questions, and all these things. But with AI, with just a click, you can have this data, because whether you like it or not, AI is here and it's here to stay. Whatever we as individuals or people do, it's like it's always there on the internet stored. If you're using streaming platform services, streaming services, it's always there stored. You understand? You can always go there and easily generate data instead of going there and taking questionnaires and taking surveys. That was how it was done in the olden days, taking surveys and stuff. But with AI, with a click, you can get this data. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can use, like, as a creative, is very wrong to like to focus on AI fully. But AI is just here to make your work easier. You understand? Any creative that uses AI effectively, you understand, we always have an edge over a creative that doesn't even leverage it at all. So that's the point I'm trying to make.
Great. Thank you so much, Promise, for that contribution. Okay, back to Philibels for 30 seconds because I can see your hand raised. 30 seconds.
Yes, don't mind me. I love this kind of discussion because I love to learn a lot. So, sorry. Promise, yeah, I believe AI is actually, there's no problem with AI, you know. I also use it, you know, but I also use digital. I understand how it is. But for a country with low economical standards like Nigeria, we are we have not really met up to our expectations on, like, in regards to the, you know, the world. We shouldn't be meddling with AI if too much with AI if we want to build culture, which is important for art and activism, because we have to portray what we are to let the world know that, okay, this is what we are. Well, how do you know what we? In fact, right now, there is how the world looks at us as Nigerians, as Africans. After Fela Kuti's Afrobeat example, Afrobeat, that was the only genre of music that was talking about the problems Nigeria were facing. And one thing I like about Afrobeat is it's live music. You know, like I talked about live music. Now, if you notice, the music of today is kind of digital. And one thing with digital is it can be controlled even by someone that is not even a Nigerian. Elon Musk is the owner of Twitter, yeah, but you can see that instead of people to be actively involved in politics, the young people to be involved in politics or be playing their activism with real drums and real guitars and real pianos and real this thing, will be on Twitter space, like as if the Nigerian government is on Twitter. That is why the politicians keep on using our heads, because we have embraced digital world too much. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's too much. Secondly, yeah, I think if we want to make a change, the most important way we can do this is to bring back live music, because the message is passed when it's live. And as an as a data analyst that you were talking about, Promise, here, one thing, there's a saying that goes, it's not about the end of the journey, it's about how you got there. Now, you say you go and meet people to take about data analysis, you talk to people, it's good to do that. It's good to actually go around and meet people, human beings, and ask them, what do you feel about this? Take down their surveys. Take down each, and even though there are 1,000, take down their surveys. Why? We are not looking for a fast road. We are looking for an effective quality road that builds culture. And culture is built when you are suffering, taking time to take those surveys. Do you understand? We need to take time to take those surveys to build the relationship between human beings in Nigeria, so that the neo-colonialism will not affect us and how we think of ourselves. It's very important. We don't need to give the computer to say, okay, we need data. Okay, type on this, give me what this village think about this. So. No, we don't need that. For Nigeria, maybe when we are developed like Americans, or maybe as other countries, as we'll be able to do, but now we don't need that. We need to embrace culture first if we want to make activism change, if we want to make positive change, for nation building. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You both made very important points, and we can even organize another webinar on AI because there are so many issues to discuss, so many things. It provides opportunities, but there are also risks, and I think it's a tricky concept. At the end of the day, it depends on the way that you use it. But yeah, thank you so much for all your insightful discussions. I don't see any other hands raised, so I'm just going to give each of the panelists an opportunity to say their final words. It could be like a word of encouragement for young people who are seeking to create conscious art, or just anything you want to say. Final words in 30 seconds. Please be really brief. Thank you. You can start, Amina.
All right. So, in conclusion, what I'm going to say is appreciate your creativity, appreciate your art. That is your power. It is priceless. It is a gift that you got, and money cannot buy, nothing can buy it. It's an intellect that you build in from your own self. It comes from your head, your mind. It comes from your reasoning, your vision. So appreciate your art, your creativity, because it is really, really not easy. The moment you appreciate what you do yourself, you're really going to see the value that is in it before people even come to you and say, oh, well done, I like what you do. You yourself like what you do, appreciate yourself, appreciate your work, and be proud of it. And continue to build on yourself, because nobody's perfect. Well, change is a process, and development is also a process. The moment you believe in that, you are good to go. Always be open to learning, relearn, unlearn, and that's how you move. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amina. Promise, final words.
Okay, yeah. But I know Philip is going to fight me, but I just want to say, as a creative, embrace technology. um, Embrace technology and digital tools to to help you, like, of course, to help you reach more people, to help you automate your work, make your work makes your work easier. That's why you also experiment with new mediums and techniques that can help you tell your stories effectively. So this is all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Precious has dropped off. So, Philip, final words from you.
Yeah, this is a wonderful. I really I love this. In fact, next time we should put in more time. I think so, and very important. I would just love all of us to just take out time when we talk about building consciousness, mindfulness, creativity, and originality. It starts with building our minds. And how do you build our minds? I'll recommend books for you people to just read. So that next time we have seminars, we'll talk about this what is in the books. I recommend the first book, Sapiens. And also, if you have any other book you want to share with us, you can please post it on the site, and we'll be able. I would love to read it. And maybe next time we'll talk about conversations, not because we see people in Nigeria doing it, but because we built it by our own minds. You know, Nigerians, Africans were born with a mission, like I said, and it is embedded in our minds. We just have to take our time alone, pray, meditate, think, sit down alone, face the boredom. I know it's hard to face boredom, but out of boredom we come creative originality for most artists. And one thing with originality is your environment will speak to you, tell you, oh, I don't like what Tinubu is doing. Write in your music that this is what Tinubu is doing, and let the whole world know. Do it. There are gatekeepers in the media, people who, when you do a conscious song like that, they will hear it and be like, oh no, we can't make this boy blow. The problem is you shouldn't want your aim as a creative shouldn't be to be famous, it shouldn't be to blow. If you have something to do, do it. Don't follow the crowd. We are not born to be famous. We are born to make change. We are born for our generation to make the place we are in better for our generation, for our unborn babies. So just know that as a creative, whatever you do, whatever art you do, we stay online forever. We stay with you forever. We stay in your culture as an identity forever. Will you like your children to hear about those kind of arts? Ask yourself this question before you make anything, and it will guide you. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Philip. It's been a very insightful discussion. I have so many notes. If I were to summarize, just pick a few things from my notes, I would say we started with like the concept of art and activism and how it involves using the creative arts to drive change, to promote nation building, and to inspire action. We also talked about the fact that change is a gradual process, so you have to keep doing things continuously. We talked about how you shouldn't wait for inspiration because inspiration can come at any time. So utilize the things around you and use them in creating your art. And we also talked a lot about originality, how you should embrace originality, do things that are relevant to your local context, believe in yourself, not hold back. If you have something, a message you want to pass across, do it. Don't hold yourself back. Don't question yourself. Um, and yeah, so thank you all so much. It's very, very insightful. We're going to share the recording. This piece is being recorded, so you can listen to it in your own time. And I would now like to invite the chair of our board of trustees, Dr. Ejiro, to give the vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Rukky. And thanks to all the speakers and everyone who found time to join us this afternoon. It's been a very interesting discussion, even though I couldn't join from the beginning because I was in another program, but I enjoyed the parts that I listened to, and I'm glad that it's recorded so that we can also share widely beyond those of us that were able to attend. The part of discussion I met had to do with the use of AI, and also, so there was more like a promotion of AI and also caution to be careful as we use it. I want to agree that with AI, it is possible for us to lose originality. My generation is not very accepting of new technology because we didn't grow with it. But I try my best to be on top of those technology issues, and I've tried to play with AI a couple of times on different issues. I see that if one is not careful, you could actually lose your originality. So I write stories, and I write, let's say, a paragraph or two of story with my own words, originality, and I put it into AI. AI might change it, and of course, it will read really good. But when I read it, I no longer find myself in what I have written. One or two occasions, I've had to go back to my original text, which I prefer because my emotion is poured into it. The lingo that I use as a Nigerian, is poured into it, and the people I'm communicating with are Nigerians. But I also agree that we should not discountenance AI because I've also tried it with my monitoring and evaluation work, which is what I do for a living. And there are some result statements you want to break into indicators, and you crack your head and crack your head and crack your head and put it in AI and say, generate indicators for this result. You'll be shocked. Amazing stuff that you might not even personally think about. So I'm even worried that that thing is going to take away our natural intelligence because it generates indicators that are mind-blowing and are so direct and so useful. So somebody like me, there's no way I'm going to run away fully from using AI. But on the creative side, I agree that originality is key. I just started releasing my novels recently, and if AI had written those novels, I don't think it will be as original and accepted as it is accepted today. Because AI does not understand my culture, does not understand my language, but it can give you, tips on some stuff. I never used it for any of my books anyway, but recently I started trying it out with M&E, and it's working well in terms of breaking down my results into indicators. But the thing that resonates with me is using it with wisdom. If you don't use it with wisdom, there are some people, they go into AI, they copy something and they copy it wholesale and throw into a report. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work because the person reading, people have actually written stuff for me like that and I could detect very easily that this was copied. This was done by AI and was copied, and probably there are one or two gaps that are not resonating with what they were supposed to write. So wisdom is key. Learning to use it well to aid our work rather than replace our work. I think that's what is important. So and in terms of arts and activism, I want to celebrate all of you in the house, especially the creatives who have started using their arts, to address several issues. Please continue to do what you are doing. Nigerians love the arts a lot, whether it's music, poetry, and all of that. And I like the way somebody mentioned that you should not seek validation. You should love your work and throw it out there. I am telling you, if you are waiting for validation before you put your art out there, you will be so frustrated. One of my books has been nominated for the Association of Nigerian Authors Award for prose, and the award is going to be announced this evening. For me, I don't care whether, however it turns out. I'm just so excited that my work was nominated. I'm a scientist now writing literature. So for me, that is even sufficient, But if I waited for validation before my book was even published, there were some professors of literature, at least two professors of literature. One of them, when I sent the book to her to say, help me write a blog, what is your opinion? Her body language was more like, what do you even know to write? Another one, who is a professor of literature, also mentioned, I don't know, but he said some derogatory things that could have actually affected my confidence to release my books. But that's the book that is being celebrated today, that is nominated for an award. So you can imagine, don't wait. Not everybody will like your work. That is the truth. If you love what you are doing, put it out there confidently. Some people will like it, some will not like it, but the message will be passed across. I want to celebrate FYCI for this great intervention, great program, and all the work that you continue to do. I want to encourage you. We are expecting more from you. So thank you very much, everybody, and I wish you all the best. And please, Rukky, remember to circulate the recorded version so that we can share widely. Thanks a lot, and have a blessed afternoon.
Thank you so much. It's been very interesting. I almost don't want to end the space. There have been lots of interesting discussions. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you, Jon-Kote, for your brilliant spoken word presentation. Thank you, Dr. Ejiro, for that powerful charge. Thank you to everyone for joining. We will, as I said earlier, we'll be sharing the recording. The quickest way to get updates from us is to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at FYC Initiative. Is the same handle that we have on this page. So you can just check out our page here. It's the same handle across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Or you can follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube by searching our full name, Frontline Youth Creativity Initiative. We have some more activities planned. If you are a young creative in the house or just someone who wants to engage with us, collaborate with us, anything, feel free to reach out to us. We're very open to that. You can DM us on social media or email us at contact@fyci.org. I don't see any more hands raised, so I think this is the end of the discussion. Okay, Philip, I see your hand up. 30 seconds, and then we end this space.
Yes, Jon-Kote, please. I'm working on an Afrobeat activism album, and I'll need a spoken word artist. Please, I really need it. You will, yes, just that. And also anyone that wants to be part of it. I already have a song with Rukky, and I also think we can have an anthem, an activism anthem, specifically for just to drive awareness and be conscious of whatever we do. We're not just people who come here to talk. We have to also have the same synced ideology. So if you have an art I want any of us to work with, I'm a mixing engineer, I'm a producer too. I can help you one way or the other for free. Yes, for free, because I really love this. So thank you very much. And again, yeah.
Okay, Rukky, sorry, before you close the meeting, talking about anthem, remember that we are working on an anti-corruption anthem, Rukky. So maybe we can take that forward with Philip and other
Yes,
creatives.
absolutely.
Yeah, because we need that as part of our deliverables on the PPJ project. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for that suggestion, Philip. We will definitely take it further. And for anyone who is on this space, like I said, you want to continue engagement with us, follow us on social media, reach out to us. We're very open to that. Even individually, those who are in this space, you can just check out the account and continue the engagement. This wouldn't be the end. We'll obviously organize more webinars to continue to promote these kinds of discussions. So thank you all very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.